All right, so what I'm going to do is first I want to talk to you guys a little bit about not this, but the actual caster, and I want to show you guys how to do a working drawing for it. So let me just find our class, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and create a document. I'm just going to call, well, actually, let me cancel that because I actually do have a document already here. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you guys how to do the actual working drawing and how to make sure that you get the logo and all that stuff into it. First thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to obviously pick what I want. In this case, my drawing, is it in inches or is it in metric? Inches or metric? Metric, right? Okay. So what you're going to do is we will make sure, right now you see it says ANSI A and it says inch. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and click that, but I need to make sure that when I open the working drawing itself, that I change the units to metric. The way that I'm going to do that is I'm going to come over here to the little wrench, and then I'm going to change it over to millimeters, and then if I need to change the precision, I can change the precision on my project here. I'm just going to change it to, well, I'm going to just leave it to the 0.12, and then I will analyze the drawing as we go to see if I need to add or subtract parts out. From here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you guys how to put in your logo. So at the top of your screen, you're going to see where it says insert DXF or drawing, and then there's a little turn down to it. The next thing that says is an insert image. I'm going to click on insert image. Now this only works if you see the Hutch Tech logo already imported into your drawing. Okay, if you don't, well then you got to go about it a whole different manner. And I'm not going to get into that. So you will see the Hutch Tech logo right here. I am going to go ahead and left click on it. The computer is now asking me to give me a start point. What I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of zoom in on this work area right here. I do not want to snap it to a corner. I want it inset a little bit, left click one time, stretch your object out. Don't let it snap to anything. Okay, it doesn't matter if it's centered right now. Left click again. You now have the object placed. Okay, adjust it. Nice, student speaking. Not here. All right. Thank you. Now that you have your image imported, next thing that we're going to do is we're going to make a copy of it. Copying it, super easy. Right click. Actually, I lied. Copy it is Control C, Control V. I don't think it shows up as, we don't have a right click option to do a copy. We have right click to paste it, but I don't know why it doesn't show up a right click to copy it. Once you have it copied, go ahead and we don't want both of them selected. We only want one of them selected. Place it over on the other side. You're just kind of eyeballing it. That's all you're doing. From here, you're going to place a note. That note is just going to be some text. Again, we don't want it to snap. If we can avoid it, we're going to try to avoid it. You're going to go ahead, type in Hutchinson Technical High School. Before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to change the color to something that's more maroony. I don't know. We'll go with this color here. I don't know. I guess this bottom one looks more maroony to me. I can then, in all capitals, you will notice that I've got a problem here that my text won't fit all the way across. Just go ahead, grab the push pull, stretch it out. Again, we center our text, so use the center tool. You can also make it bold if you'd like. Just make sure that you select all of your text if you want to do bold to it. If you want to change the font, okay, obviously you have to have it all selected. If you change the font to a different font and it does not fit into your title block, then and only then would you modify your actual text height. Okay, maybe I'd have to change this to like 2.5. Okay, there we go. 2.5 fits nicely. Could I mess around with it and make it bigger? Maybe. Could I mess around and make it smaller? Sure. Am I going to waste time doing it? Absolutely. Does it really matter? No. Okay. Green check mark it when you're all happy with it. Everything else in the title block. Putting the title in, make sure that you find the space that you want. Double click on that. Any of these other dashes that you don't need, simply select them and delete them. Will they show up in the final if they are left in there? Yeah, no, they won't show up when you do a PDF, but is it annoying to look at? Absolutely. Make sure you change your sheet numbers to represent what item you are working on of however many sheets there are. There are 6 sheets in total. So right off the bat, you're going to change this number from 1 of 1 to 1 of 6 or 2 of 6, whatever that number needs to be. Scale. This should automatically be updated for you. If for some reason it doesn't automatically update, this is where you're going to change it. The weight. This is something that I need you guys to fill out. You are going to be actually typing in what the weight of your object is. So if I look at, let's say, my post, what I would do is I'd select on my part, and then I'd come down to my display mass. Okay? I need to make sure that I actually have an item selected for it. In this case, I don't have anything selected, so I have to come back in here, do my right click, assign material, and then I think it was it cold rolled or cast? I don't know. What is it? Steel? Anybody? Carbon steel? Is that what it was? No, if it's not, that's what I'm going to use for this demo. Come back to my weights, and then I will see where it says what my mass is. Make sure that you follow the instructions. If the mass is supposed to be in ounces, make sure you come up to your hamburger working units and you change it so that it represents the proper units. Okay? If it's supposed to be ounces, kilograms, grams, whatever it's supposed to be, make sure you change that. It tells you in the instructions what it's supposed to be. You could then simply just copy and paste. Control C. Come over to my working drawing. Come over here, double click, Control V. There it is. Okay. This also would be the same thing that you would go ahead and type into your mass calculations quiz. Okay. The only thing is I don't want you to include the space or the units because it's already indicated on the quiz. I only want the raw number value, 3 digits, or 3 decimal places, okay? Material is told to you in the actual working drawings or the detail drawings. So if I come over to my detail drawing here and I look at, I don't know, I'll just pick one of them randomly. Okay. You can see it says carbon steel, it says powder coat, and then it has a powder coat color to it. Sometimes it will say that it is polished. Sometimes it will say that it is raw, whatever it is, make sure you fill that out. The information that you see in the title block is basically what I want to see on your final project. Okay? If you're missing something, well, then that's going to be points off. If I miss something on here, let's say I miss a crucial dimension. If I don't have it on here, guess what? I'm not going to take off on it for your project. Okay? I know on one of the objects I have it where I believe I missed a chamfer. Okay? So I'm not going to take off for that. But if you come up to me and ask me, hey, where's that chamfer? I will tell you it's on page 2 of the project. Okay. But that being said, this is all the information that you would need for your title block. Next, moving forward on, I'm going to just go ahead and use the insert view, pick an object that I want to work off of. I'm going to use the bracket. So I'm just going to go ahead and pick bracket. I'm going to place the bracket. I'm going to place the multiple views of it. Obviously, you can see my bracket is not complete, but it gives you the idea as to what you need to do to it. You will notice that there is no information written underneath my bracket, meaning it doesn't tell you what the front view is, the side view, or anything like that. If I right-click while having my object selected, I can go View Properties. I can then click on the View Label. I can also go ahead and click Scale Label, and it'll tell me what the scale is. Again, information that you see on the worksheets, you also need to have that. Okay? If I need to change the size of the drawing, I can change the size of the drawing. I'm just going to put it 1:1. I don't know if that's the right scale. Clearly, it's not going to fit on here, so I'm just going to go back to that 1:4 for now. What I want to show you here next is your isometric drawings. They're a different size. I'm going to show you another way to get into the properties. You can just simply left-click, double-click quickly on your object. Brings you into the same thing again. I am going to change that scale so that it represents whatever it says on my drawing. Notice it says scale 1:6. If it meets what you need it to be, go ahead and right-click on it. Sometimes your isometric drawing might be in the wrong orientation. You can double-click on it, and you can actually go ahead and you can change the view. Okay? Or sometimes this view might be the wrong view. So you can modify those couple things there. Okay? So those are a lot of the little things. If you need to show or hide hidden lines or center lines on an object, let me show you how to do that. You're going to right-click on the object. You're going to have Show Hide. Very top. And then you can go Show Hidden Lines. Right-click again. Show. And then there would be center lines if we actually had center lines to work off of. Okay? If you need, on one of the projects, there is, let me bring it in here. I think it's the wheel. Let me create a new working drawing here. Actually, let me do it the right way, the way that you guys would do it. Because you're not going to go through all the extra work again. What I'm going to do is I want to make an exact copy of this drawing. So I would just right click and then I would go duplicate. Now I have the title block pretty much already set for me. I'm going to just delete all these views because I'm going to import something else. Insert view. I'm going to pick my object. Other documents. Let's see here. Let me just find, oh, I don't know. Actually have to find the right drawing for us. I don't know if I have anything in here. Well, I don't have the wheel drawn, but I'll just use the post again as my example. In the wheel, one thing that you need to do is you need to create a section view. So let me bring this up and we can look at the wheel itself. This view right here, this is a section view. Basically, it's where I take the object and I cut it in a given location. This is important because normally we would place a view and then we'd create a right side view of it. Well, this time what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to do something different. I'm actually going to create a section view and I'll show you how to do that. And then you'll notice that I have a detailed view of that section view. So I've gone ahead and here's my front view, here's my right side view. Well, guess what? In this case, both my objects look the same, but I'm going to take my right side view, select it, and just simply delete it. I don't want it. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to come up to my, where it would be projected view, drop down to the section view. And then all I'm going to do is I'm going to pick the center of my actual project. And then I don't do anything more other than slide over to the side. And then you will notice that I now get what we call hatching. And that's just at a 45-degree angle. It just represents where the object has been cut. If I need to do a detail view, I come down, same place I was before, detail view, and then I can pick my location, draw the circle, and then I can place the object. If I need to do anything like a footnote, like let's say I know on one of my drawings I have it where I need to indicate what the chamfer is on an object. Well, there's real no good way to actually write that in. So what I can do is I can actually create an arrow, and all I am is in the notes command. Remember how I told you before, only click once and then notes will come up with the text? This time what I did is I clicked one time and then I dragged off to a direction. Now you're going to see where I can put some text in. In this case, let's say I do 1 by, and I needed to do 45 degree. I have underneath where it's got the theta symbol, I can do the degree symbol. And then I can write chamfer. Okay, again, if you need to stretch it, you can always just grab the box and stretch it. Hey, guys. Anaya, pay attention. At least you're honest. All right. Most everything else I have showed you how to do that for the working drawings. If you need to omit on that wheel, let me let me close this out for a second, and I want to go ahead and let me see if it's in this account or if it's in my other account. I don't think it's in this account. Let's try signing out of this one, sign into my other account. Nope, because it's not here either. I don't know where it is. Sign out, sign back in. Oh. All right. So I have no idea why. Okay. Oh, Zach, I'm in your project here. All right. All right. So eyeballs up here again. Take a look at this. My wheel. One of the things I needed to do to my wheel in my working drawing was I needed to make sure that the object did not have a lot of extra information. Meaning that when I put a fillet in an object, I have a start point, a what I would call an original corner, and then I have another end point. What I can do is in my working drawings, so if I am in, let's see here, I'm just going to create a working drawing here. Oh, Zach, you need to go through and label all your parts. All right. Seriously? All right, so if you take a look at this object, you will notice I've got a lot of extra stuff. What I can do is if I want to get rid of all that extra stuff, I can go tangent edges and I can tell it to be hidden. And that just simplifies the drawing. If you need more information on how to do that, it is written out in the instructions. Okay. One thing that I do want to also show you guys is not how to lose your drawing. Is how to take and project an item and have it so that there's the color to it. Okay, this time I need to scale that object way down. What am I doing here? Ah. All right, I'm going to scale this thing so it's super tiny. And what I can do is I forgot how I add color to it. Holy brain fart. All right, I'll just show you guys how to add color to it later on because I forgot. Unless somebody knows. Does anybody know? Change appearance over here. All right, let me see if I can do that. Right click here. View show shaded view. Maybe that's it. Right click show shaded view. I bet. Yep, there it is. Okay. Thanks, guys. All right. All right, so again, right click, show shaded view. That'll bring it into a color object. That's pretty much it for this. If you need to show center lines, you can right click, show hide, and then you'll have center marks. Okay, in this case, they're already hidden, but sometimes you'll need to show those. That's kind of it for this. Next thing I want to do is just want to go through and show you the assembly. Just kind of quickly, I'll do a couple parts of the assembly. I'm going to click insert. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to bring in all of my parts. I don't really care how they stack or where they sit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I got all 6 parts. Here they are. They're all stacked on top of each other. You want to move them around, go ahead and left click on them. Okay, left click, move them around. Now, if the orientation of your objects is incorrect, meaning this piece and this piece are in the wrong direction, a couple things I can do. Let's say I want to just change the orientation of my wheel itself. Click on it one time. You're going to see what I would call the rotation UCF show up. If you look at these little icons here, they tell you which direction your object is going to be rotated. If I select on this one here, it's going to spin about this axis, turning it. Well, guess what? It doesn't do anything for us, so we're not going to use that one. If I use this back arrow, what it's going to do is it's going to flip-flop the front and the back side of my objects. And then lastly, we can use this one here, and we can rotate the object. Now, every time you do a rotation, it's always going to be based off of 90 degrees. All right, so I've rotated 90 degrees. Now I know that it's going to fit a little bit better. It just saves you in the long run. Now, if you mate a couple of items together, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the Fasten Mate tool. What I'm going to do is I'm going to select on my very front face. You will notice the little widget that shows up to tell you, hey, this is the face that I'm working off of. This is the orientation that's going to be. I'm going to select on one of my circles here, and I'm going to come over to my wheel itself. And I'm going to pick the same hole, and I want the widget to be kind of in the same spot. Left click it again. You're going to notice, hey, it lined it up in the right location, but it is not in the correct direction. I can use flip-flop. Flip-flop it, go ahead, green check mark it. That part looks good. Please do not hesitate to rotate your object to make sure that it is fitting into the components correctly. One thing that I do want to go through and talk to you guys about is after you do a couple items, select those couple of items. Okay. Get out of the tool or the command. Select those 2 items and use group. Now, it's going to get mad at you and it's going to put the groups as red over here. We don't care about that. We care that when I move this object or when I go to add another fasten to it, that they stay together. Occasionally, what will happen is when you go to apply a group, or it's not grouping, a fasten mate, sometimes the objects will move. I don't know why they move, but sometimes they just move on you. So just grouping them is a nice little thing to do. One last thing I want to talk to you guys about is putting this external retaining ring. I want you to get it so that it snaps onto the correct location. Super easy to do. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use fasten again. I'm going to pick this curved surface right here. this entire curved surface, select that. Come over to my to my shaft. Again, pick the exact same curved surface, and it will fit the first time correctly. Okay. Obviously, you want to do these two processes, the snapping of this external ring and the shaft. You'd probably want to do that as your very last operation. Try to do the entire project as you would assemble it. Okay. Like I would put in the bushing into the wheel, and then I'd take the wheel and then I'd put it into this bracket. When you put the wheel into the bracket, a couple things I want you to pay attention to. First, this wheel is only 28 millimeters wide. The bracket is 30. So that means you have to use an offset. So if I pick this face, and then I pick this circle as my center point, and I pick making sure that it's this face. Ryan, you also have something going on right here that's not correct. You'll notice right now my wheel's facing the wrong way. Do flip-flop to it. I'm going to go ahead and look at it directly like this. Do you see how there is a dead space right here and my wheel's jammed up tight against this other side? We don't want that. So what I can do is where it says fasten, I'm going to use offset. Here's my Z-axis. I come over here, use my Z. If I want to move the object to the right, I will use a positive number. If I want to move my object to the left, I use a negative number. In this case, 30 minus 28 is going to be 2. I divide that in half. It gives me 1. So I'm just going to do a negative 1. And then now my object is perfectly centered. What should I do to this object now that I've done a lot to it? Group it. Okay. Green check mark it. Again, it's going to show up as red over here. I don't really care. All I care is that my object stays together. Now, one of the other things that you're going to do is going to be that you're going to need to get it so that this face, I will just simply pick that face, and that top corner or top midpoint of my rib is aligned. And then I'm going to find the side that has my rib. Come on. I'm going to find that same location. Hopefully, you've done all your dimensions correctly. Mine doesn't look like it decided to do it right. Okay. Again, you might have to rotate. You might have to fiddle with your project a little bit. If your item is not importing incorrectly, chances are it's because of the face that it's chosen. Okay, so mine didn't like the face that I picked. So let's just go ahead and put it in here. I tried redoing that. Yeah, that's definitely wrong right there. All right. So hopefully you guys get a little bit of an idea as to what you need to do in order to get your objects to place correctly. In this case, my orientation, it's actually flip-flopped completely backwards of where it needs to be, and it's 90 degrees off. So what I could do with this object here is I could use my rotate, not in the fasten command. Use my rotate right here, Again, I can rotate it 90 degrees. Yes, sir. Say it one more time. Where I offset it? Huh? Yeah. Yep. So again, real quick, when I was in that offset or that fasten, let's see, or that would have been fasten 2, I believe. I have the ability to use the offset, and then I would just pick my z-axis and then -1. If it goes the wrong direction, then change it to a +1. Okay. You're welcome.